cancelos fenestre, ubi ante faciam eius, sodanos David balsamum, nelcido maximino.
Calor solis exarcit, et in tenebras resplenduit, unde gemma surrexit, in edificatione templi, purissimi cordis benevoli.
Istetur excelsis delineo Libani, esi preso facta, jacinto vis ardio ranata est, urbs praetiens artes aliorum atificum.
Ipse volox servus, cucuritat pandem, purissime aquae, fluentis de fortissimo lapide, qui tutia abromata irgavit.
Opignem tari, qui estis in suavissima, veriditate hortorum, regis ascendetes in altum, quando sanctum sacrificium in sacriedibus perfectistis.
Inter vos fulgeti cartifex paries templi, qui desideravit alas aquilae, osculando nutristem sapientiam, in gloriosa fecunditate ecclesiae. Ubi et sedis populo, qui tendidat specum lucis, cuis lauses in
Good morning to you all. As we are observing Women's History Month, right? This is very exciting. That piece is from a composer named Hildegard von Bingen, and she's a very powerful woman figure in music history. She was born in 1098 and passed in 1179. She's recognized as the earliest known and documented composer in Western music history. She was known as the Sibyl of the Rhine. She was a German abbess who was also a writer, a composer, a mystic, a visionary, and a poet. She is one of the few composers who wrote not only the music, but also the words. And there are more chants written by Hildegard von Bingen than by any other composer of the Middle Ages. Let's just think about that for a moment. Also, here's a really beautiful thing that I learned as I was researching. Her visions caused her to see humans as living sparks of God's love, coming from God as daylight comes from the sun. I thought that was very beautiful. Thank you.
Good morning. As most of you know, my name is Lindsay Coda, and I'm delighted to welcome you to our Sunday service. The Unitarian Universalist Church of Long Beach is a progressive congregation of members and friends who put our faith in action, living out our mission to create a multicultural, anti-racist, anti-oppressive congregation and denomination. Our Unitarian Universalist faith affirms that love is the power that liberates us and binds us together, and it is love that is at the center of our shared values. Greetings and welcome to those of you who are new or visiting our church this morning. We are so glad that you are here. Please stop by the membership table on the wall outside after service to fill out a goldenrod newcomer form or scan the QR code in the order of service. Right here, the middle one, so that we can follow up with you. And finally, welcome also to those joining on Zoom and YouTube. Now please take a moment to silence your cell phones and electronic devices. After the service, if you are watching us on Zoom, please join us for our after-service coffee hour, where you can chat with others in the congregation. And now for a few announcements. We will start with David.
Good morning. My name is David James. I'm coming to you from your Music and Arts Committee. And 2 weeks from today is our St. Patrick's Day party. So please plan to stay on the 15th of March. Please plan to stay after service as soon as we can get Wilder Hall, Wilder Hall cleared out and set up. We'll start the party. With singing and food and joke telling and all kinds of fun stuff. And if you want to help out with it, I hope you do, please see Jane Doolittle Swanson at the table outside during coffee hour to sign up for help. Thank you. See you there.
Hi, my name is Norma Chinchilla, and I'm here today representing the Leadership Development Committee, and we're asking all of you to help us identify a clerk, a person we can put forward to the congregation to vote on at the congregational meeting. The person would be our Board of Trustees clerk for next year, and we found out it could actually be more than one person because the bylaws say that upon approval of the board, you can delegate some of these tasks, so we didn't know that. So we're thinking that two friends might want to volunteer, or maybe, anyway. It's something that a newer member could also do. I have the job description here. I'll put it on the welcome table in the patio, and if you talk to me, I'll also give you the link. And I just want to say, if you know our current clerk, and Gina, and you've seen how hard she works and said, I would never, ever take that job, not in a million years. It's going to be a lot easier next year because of all kinds of things, AI, all the systems she's put into place. So don't, past is not future. Okay.
Hi, my name is Lorraine Neal, and I'm here with the Democracy Forward team. We have two activities for you this morning in Chalice Building A, that's closest to the parking lot over that way. We're writing postcards to voters in swing states to combat disinformation. On the front, they have some real information. And we're making whistle packets again. Remember the little booklet. It's not just about the whistle, but how to report activity you see. Next week, even more fun. We'll start making posters again for No Kings 3 this time on March 28th. We'll keep on planning for every week if we can, like maybe with a couple more volunteers. And on the patio today, Ken and Mac will be out there, yay, and they have information about No Kings, what swing states we're looking at in 2026. And you might want to stop by to give us ideas of activities you'd like to see in the coming months. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Peeben Nee, and I'm on the planning committee, or planning team with Joanne and Lorraine and Annie. This is a reminder that Grace's farewell gathering is Saturday, March 21st from 3:30 to 5:30, and we'll be taking sign-ups for food or help with setup and takedown. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Maureen McHale, and my artwork is up today. So the reception is from 12 to 3. You can stay for some delicious snacks and enjoy the art and ask me any questions. Thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you.
Well, I don't have that amazing of an announcement. I do want to share that our pledge kickoff starts next week, March 8th. I just want you all to consider, I'm sorry, I didn't even introduce myself. Bobby Evans Santiago on the stewardship committee, and I am super happy to see every single one of you. So next week kicks off our pledge drive, generosity as a UU value. We are about that life. So think about what it means to you to keep the lights on, to enjoy community, to keep this going. I appreciate it.
Okay, I have a final announcement. You may have seen this image going around with the invitation to protest sing-in tomorrow night down at the First Congregational Church in Long Beach. It's open to all. I think, Jen, you might stop by. Anyone else planning to go? So if anyone's wondering who might come, a few members of the choir, Malila is going to go. We are thinking about having, on the No Kings Day, a little sing-in resistance group from UUCLB. Wouldn't that be cool? Yeah. So we're going to bring some songs. We're going to learn some songs tomorrow night with Sharon Hebrar, who is with the Kairos Institute. She travels around the country leading these sing-ins. And I know her from my Union Theological Seminary days, and we're excited to have her lead us. So please do come out tomorrow night if you can. We'd love to see you. 6:30 p.m., open to all. Okay, and now I'm going to just invite everyone to center for a moment and to take a deep breath for some really hard news for us here in the congregation. And I'm going to ask for the next slide. So I am so sorry to share the news with you that we have lost our dear member, Lisa Moore. Lisa Moore is a dear and beloved member of this congregation who has been journeying with cancer for several months. And we have her family joining, and we just are sending our love to you. And we invite, if you'd like to come forward and say anything, we welcome you to come and share with us as well. A great light has gone out in this church. Lisa is and was a dear pillar in this congregation. It's just a few months that she stood with me and talked about the Friends of the Library, which she held so dearly, and was a leader in this worship space, on the board, and in every aspect of our life here in the church. And so we're going to light the memorial candle for her this morning and hold a moment of silence. We'll also be celebrating her life here in a memorial service when we get to schedule it. But for now, we are honoring her life and we are grieving this big loss. Let us light the memorial candle and hold silence for Lisa. As we light this candle, we acknowledge the great cloud of witnesses of which Lisa is now a part. And we hold her memory as a blessing to all. Mary, would you like to say anything at this time? Okay. Brendan, would you like to say anything?
Hello, everyone. My name is Brendan Patterson. I'm Lisa's son. I grew up in this church. I'm having lots of memories today. I live in San Diego now, but the main message I want to pour out there is when Lisa moved to Southern California in the 80s, from Michigan, this community and this church was a huge part of building the people and community around her. And I saw it with my own eyes growing up here in the 90s and coming to church every Sunday. And fast forwarding to now, for the past, 6 months, the outpouring of love and support from this community has just meant so much to her sister Mary, my wife Diana, and myself. And just the continued well wishes, they mean so much. And I just want to say our family truly appreciates what this space has given my mom. And, she will be remembered here, and she loved this community. So thank you.
Now we're going to move on. We'll move on to our chalice lighting. Our reading this morning for that is called The Resistance of the Anglerfish by Jess X. Chen, originally published in The Offing. The resistance of the anglerfish is to end 1 billion years of darkness by crowning itself with its own star. As we light this chalice, the symbol of our faith, come and let us worship together. Now is the time for our sharing of congregational joys and sorrows.
Sorry, we'll be singing.
Oh.
Good morning. This song that I chose to share today is written by an Argentinian composer named Marina Elena Walsh. And I heard another artist sing it, Mercedes Sosa, and I think both of their renditions are beautiful. But upon learning this and understanding the meaning of the song, is ultimately is talking about yearning for one's homeland and celebrating our roots, where we come from. Okay. Okay, very exciting. We're gonna share this song with you. Porque me duele si me quedo, pero me muero si me voy. Yo quiero me vivir en vos, por tu decencia de mi bala y por tu escándalo de sol, por tu verano con jazmines, mi amor, yo quiero vivir en vos, porque es un secreto entre los dos, porque le diste reparo al desarraigo de mi corazón, por tus antiguas rebeldías y por la edad de tu dolor, por tu esperanza interminable, mi amor, yo quiero vivir en vos, para sembrarte de guitarra, para cuidarte en cada flor, y odia a los que te castigan, mi amor, yo quiero vivir en vos. Porque el idioma de infancia es un secreto entre los dos. Porque le diste reparo al desarraigo en mi corazón. Porque me duele si me quedo, pero me muero si me voy. Por todo y a pesar de todo, mi amor, yo quiero vivir en vos. Yo quiero vivir en vos. Yo quiero vivir en vos.
Hey, good morning. My name is Charlie Crane. I'm a member here. I'm a social work graduate student, and I've been in the social work practice for a little over half a decade. Today I'll be talking about intersectionality. Intersectionality is a term made by Kimberly Crenshaw in 1989. Her writing demarginalizing the intersection of race and sex. This gave me a wonderful look and investigation of the racialized sex and gender, especially through the lens of Black women and women of color in particular. Through this reading, I was able to get a more than theoretical look into the paradox of women of color leading and nurturing, but being systematically failed by legislative and societal formulations. With her 1991 writing, Mapping the Margins, Intersectionality, Identity Politics, and Violence Against Women of Color, I got to look more into the ways that intersectionality plays into what I've termed the disassembly of the woman, society's favorite meal. Crenshaw states, intersectional subordination need to not be intentionally produced. In fact, it is frequently the consequence of the imposition of one burden that interacts with pre-existing vulnerabilities to create another dimension of disempowerment. For me, this gave more than just the fundamental action of disempowerment of women within an intersectional identity. I really got to formulate a functional zeitgeist for the reality of women within the engine of society. I concluded with this. Nothing is more consumable than the woman. Like sacrament, her labor is imbibed. As art and as cultural center, she is consumed. We can take this from an anthropologic perspective into who is the target of societal obsession, vampirism and manipulation. The vampire is drawn to the young woman, the unicorn to the virgin. The witch is burned at the stake, a blame for societal ilk and ire. I believe that the current hegemony in society is a spiritual descendant of this long historical narrative, one that centers reproductive labor, labor that has sustained human life, child rearing, care for the elderly, and traditions outside of social cultural norms. And two, brings to light the requirement of cognition of women's rights in the reinstallment of the anatomy of the body, the spirit, and the mind that keeps being used with little recompense. Thinking of intersex and trans women. Studies and investigations into neurobiology from Stanford, Harvard, the University of California, and USC looking into the biology of trans women have concluded in many cases that the brain, which is the center of human function and identity formation, has neurobiological structures. The bed-nucleus connection of the amygdala to the hypothalamus, for example, that gives credence to the biological sex dimorphism of trans women. This goes even further. If that woman, of course, has an intersex disorder, where chromosomes diverge, hormone levels vary through the pituitary gland, and developmentally she exists outside of the binary. So looking into the perspectives of current sweeping waves of cultural obsession around that dismantle action and instill abusive genocide against intersex and trans women, I can only find that it is a reflection of the violence that is wished to be put upon all women, refined and specified onto certain permissible bodies. When society gets to hurt intersex and trans women, they hold a mirror up to all women saying, I wish I could do this to you, and maybe you're next. This isn't about science. It's a predator-prey relationship, and someone has to be on the plate. Thinking of disabled women. The definition of a woman's body as a functional center is so precariously placed in the context of disability because the function as a center of desire creates a discontinuity with the body's understanding of the self-function of basic health. I'm currently doing a reading of The Year of the Flood by Margaret Atwood. That's a great look into young women surviving a dystopia with biological warfare and pandemic. It really gives me a look into possible futures. You may be more familiar with Atwood's famous dystopian reading, The Handmaid's Tale. There we get a vision of trans, intersex, disabled women, especially the unwomen. The purpose of the woman outside of reproductive labor and societally assigned capacity. We get to see women just as people, not modes of assigned care and the physical and emotional dysregulation that happens there. Activists like Alice Wong, maker and consultant for the Disability Visibility Project, Disability Intimacy, essays on love, care, and desire, bring in play the dehumanization of the disabled body, the unique challenges faced, and creations of understanding with multiple interventions of communal congress, self-enlightenment, friendship, and love. Given new dimension that provide revitalized existence. Activist Imani Barbarin brings to attention the importance of effective communication, in person and online, in order to facilitate and promote the development of disabled people, especially women, within a social context that removes their psychological and physiological needs through their ability to fully actualize. I hope this brings a sense of enlightenment, a sense of peace, and a hope for a better future. Have a beautiful day.
All right. Now is the time for our sharing of congregational joys and sorrows. We come together in community to share with one another, to support one another, and to celebrate with one another. We bear sacred witness to each other in this honored ritual. As we begin, we know that there are both great sorrows and great joys in our world that must be acknowledged as well. In our outrage and sadness, we grapple with the reality of unprovoked and unauthorized war in Iran and the devastating tragedy that has and will continue to unfold. We understand that amidst all that pain, there is also celebration and joy in our world. We honor that joy and sorrow are woven together. For some of us here today, this has been a week of life-changing joy that needs to be lifted up in this worship. For others, this has been a time of deep pain and sorrow that needs to be shared to make the burden lighter. We hold both together and receive both our joys and our sorrows equally with love and respectfully ask for applause to be withheld. We also acknowledge and respect the joys and sorrows that remain unexpressed. If you now feel moved to share, I invite you to come forward and briefly share your joy or sorrow.
I think this is a joy and a sorrow. I had the distinct pleasure of knowing Lisa Moore, and we got to become friends. And I think on some level, she felt like that I was doing her a favor when I would walk her wonderful dog, Gordy. But I once told her, I said, you know, you're doing me a favor because I've fallen in love with Gordy. And Gordy helps me stay fit because he likes to walk. I would walk him. I still walk him 1 hour every day. And so I just want to say, Lisa, I know you're smiling down, and I promise that I will love Gordy, and I just want to let you know that I loved you too. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Karen Graham, and I've really got a great joy. My son is coming from Nicaragua, and he's bringing my 7-year-old grandson, and I haven't seen my son in 10 years, never the grandson.
You got it. Thank you for coming up. Okay. Last night, when the clock turned 12, I got older. I turned 21 and a half. Anyway.
Happy birthday.
Hi, y'all. Elaine, they, them pronouns. Two joys. My dad, he had a stroke a month and a half ago at this point. He is talking again. We're working on standing. We're working on vowels. And yeah, I mean, he can say like all the grandkids' names, you know, hi, how are you, right? You know, Tagalog, both languages are coming back, so it's really cool. And also, Daryl playing the cello. He has not played the cello in public in years, so that is a joy today.
Hi, my name is Stephanie, and before I share my joy, I just wanted to say that hearing Lisa's name while you're lighting the candle just doesn't feel real. And I just keep thinking of all the people who've been in these spaces since I've been here. And yeah, it just doesn't seem right. That's my sorrow that I wasn't planning on saying, but my joy is that I'm finally going back to Camp de Benneville after not being able to go for the last few years. And if you want to hear how awesome it is, see me outside of the table, and I hope to see a lot of us there in April. It's an incredible place, and just thinking about going gives me so much joy, and yay, Maureen.
Okay, I hope I don't break the rules, but I have to share two different things. So, it's like a sorrow and a joy. So my father and his wife were in Puerto Vallarta on Sunday. The joy is they're home. They are home. So just thinking of Mexico and the people there, and the 20 hours of turmoil and scariness and what the heck is happening. So that's the joy is that they are safe and that it's calmed down over there. So I just wanted to lift Mexico up in that space. The other thing is I hate cancer. But I'm very grateful. I'm sorry. It sucks so bad, and I know so many people in here have experienced it and continue to, and I don't know why science sucks sometimes, but I'm very grateful. I'm a survivor in the plane crash, and it's so hard when you see people around you not make it, and I'm okay, It's such a hard place to be in, but let's just continue to hug on each other, not take life for granted. The joy, and I'm sorry, my friends, I love you, but I had to set boundaries for myself of how much I could take on and what I could do in my daily life. And it's really important for us to love on ourselves and take care of ourselves and celebrate life and celebrate the days that we have with people when we don't know. We don't know. We don't know what we experience, and I never thought I would share that with anyone, but I am, and I'm here, and I'm okay, and I'm very blessed, but I just want you all to know that I love you, and thank you for being strong and being here and loving that person, loving Lisa for all that she was. So that's the joy in it as well, so thank you.
Hello, my name is Jeffrey, and my joy was that I got to attend my nephew's wedding yesterday.
Hi, my name is Grace Lawrenson, and my joy is that we actually sold our house to someone who's going to take care of my garden, and looking forward to it.
Hi, my name is Alexei Glick, and my sorrow is that this past weekend marked 4 years of war on Ukraine perpetrated by Russia. You may have known that in these past Olympics that just closed, Russia was not allowed to compete under their own flag. Any Russian athlete had to be marked as an individual athlete. However, during the Paralympics, the Russian athletes are allowed to compete under their own flag, which is leading to a lot of outrage and really reeks of ableism in many forms. So that is what I'm sharing today.
Hi, my joy is that it's my partner Frankie's birthday today. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Good morning, I'm Patricia Chen, and today is also my mother's birthday. She's turning 93.
Amazing. Sorry, just really quick, I wanted to give an acknowledgement and a thank you to the pastoral care team. I don't really know exactly who's on it, but I received some very lovely sympathy cards when my maternal grandfather passed away last month. So I just wanted to say thank you to the pastoral care.
Just because it's so many people's birthdays today, I have to say it's my nephew William's birthday today, so say happy birthday if you see him, because his mom's at work and he's just with us for the day, so he would probably appreciate it.
It's my first time speaking in front of people, but my best friend, Linda Marie Wright, she's getting her rights stripped away by her power of attorney. She was trying to undo it. She never got a chance to do it. He's trying to, his plans is to take her to Vegas so he won't have any opposition and he can guarantee all her assets. She's been coming since the 60s. I remember her mentioning the Herb Society, Wilder, and she doesn't want to stop coming here. She's the sweetest, kindest, most empathetic soul I ever met, and if I could get help from you guys, I'd appreciate it.
Good morning. My name is Beth, and I just have joy to share today because I want all of you to know that I have driven by here so many times, and every time I drive by, I say, I have to go in there. I want to go in there because I love what you represent, and I just really want to explore it more and become more active and involved. So I just want to thank you for being here, and I look forward to spending more time. Thank you.
Thank you, Beth. Welcome. Would anyone else like to speak? You can raise your hand if you'd like out there, and I can come and meet you. Okay, just checking online as well. I don't have any online. And I'm just going to invite everyone to take a deep breath and gather in all that has been shared, all the joy, all the sorrow, all the grief, all the gratitude in this place. And we cannot help but come to church this morning feeling with this heavy burden of war on our hearts, fearing for our future, being so angry that this is where we're at. And so I want to close our time of prayer with a prayer for peace that is a poem written by Ellen Bass. It's a beautiful poem and a meditation for what it means to pray for and embody peace in these times. Pray for peace. Pray to whomever you kneel down to. Jesus with his suffering face bent to kiss you. Buddha still under the bow tree in scorching heat. Adonai, Allah. Raise your arms to Mary that she may lay her palm on your brow. To Shekinah, Queen of heaven and earth. To Inanna in her stripped descent. Then pray to the bus driver who takes you to work. On the bus, pray for everyone on that bus. For everyone riding buses all over the world. Drop some silver and pray. Waiting in line for the movies or the ATM for your latte and croissant. Offer your plea. Make your eating and drinking a supplication. Make your slicing of carrots a holy act. Each translucent layer of the onion a deeper prayer. To hawk or wolf, to the great whale pray. Bow down to terriers and shepherds and Siamese cats. Fields of artichokes and elegant strawberries. Make the brushing of your hair a prayer for peace. Each strand its own voice. Singing in the choir in your hair. As you wash your face, the water slipping through your fingers, a prayer. Water, the softest thing on earth. Gentleness that wears away rock. If you're hungry, pray for peace. If you're tired, pray to Gandhi and Dorothy Day, Shakespeare, Sappho, Sojourner Truth. When you walk to your car, to the mailbox, let each step be a prayer. That we all keep our legs. That we do not blow off anyone's legs or crush their skulls. And if you are riding on a bicycle or a skateboard in a wheelchair, each revolution of the wheels a prayer as the earth revolves. Less harm, less harm, less harm. With each breath, take in the faith of those who have believed when belief seemed foolish and persevered. With each breath out, cherish life. Pull weeds for peace. Turn over in your sleep for peace. Feed the birds, each shiny seed that spills onto the earth for peace. Wash your dishes, call your mother, drink wine. Shovel leaves or snow or trash from your sidewalk. Make a path. Fold a photo of a dead child around your Visa card. Scoop your holy water from the gutter. Gnaw your crust. Mumble along or shout your prayer in the streets. Amen and blessed be. And let us sing together. Number 123, Spirit of Life, Fuente de Amor. It's perhaps the most beloved hymn in our UU tradition, and it is written by a woman, Carolyn McDade. And we'll sing it through twice in English and in Spanish. Spirit of Life, Fuente de Amor. And yes, I invite you to rise in body or in spirit. Now is the time in our service where we offer gratitude for this congregation, this beloved community, all the programs and the ministries that keep this place going week to week for us to come home to every Sunday, to honor our time-honored traditions, to uplift our joys and sorrows, to get the skills we need to live in these times. And so as the plates pass you by, or you can bring your phone out to our QR for giving online, we invite you to be as generous as you can. Thank you.
Just a quick little announcement, that's okay, about this piece that we're going to do. The song was written by the late Reverend Meg Barnhouse, who passed away just this past January, and I did not know this, but we share a birthday, August 30th, not the same year, but still. And she wrote this as a dialogue between the medieval mystic Julian of Norwich, who was a female mystic and in medieval times, and she wrote it between her and a seeker in our times, speaking to one of the revelations that Julian had, and you'll recognize the words when you hear them. Julian spent 15 years in solitude trying to encompass what this all meant. So we're sharing it with you today. I said, Julian, you are holy, you are holding my hand. And Julian, you are holy, you are holding my hand. She said, all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. I said, Julian, do you not know about sorrow? And Julian, do you not know about pain? I said, Julian, do you not know about hunger? And Julian, do you not know about shame? And she said, all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. I said, Julian, do you not know about loneliness? And Julian, do you not know about disease? I said, Julian, do you not know about cruelty? I said, Julian, it's too much, it brought me to my knees. She said, all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. She said, no one does not know about sorrow, and no one does not know about pain. She said, no one does not know about hunger, and no one does not know about shame. And she said, all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. She said, no one does not know about loneliness, and no one does not know about disease. She said, no one does not know about cruelty. She said, I know it's too much, it brought me to my knees. She said, all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. I said, Julian, you are holy, you are holding my hand. And Julian, you are holy, you are holding my hand. And she said, all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. not know about friends? She said, dear one, do you not know about the Spirit? She said, dear one, do you not know it's only love that never ends? And she said, all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well. She said, all will be well, all will be well, all manner of things will be well.
Good morning again. So just like that, the calendar has turned from February to March. And doesn't it just feel different right away? Winter to spring. It's like the storms of winter, and then this weekend, the beautiful sunshine. Is it beach time? My daughter was in the pool. Like, what is going on? Each day, we turn the calendar, we turn our lives. From the scriptures, teach us to number our days, so we may gain a heart of wisdom, says the psalmist. Each day, more wisdom. Each day, we pay attention. It is a spiritually rich time of year, the transition from Black History Month to Women's History Month. We've got Lent going on, it's Ramadan. What am I missing? Easter's on the way. That's Lent. Lent first, then Easter. Chinese New Year we did last week, which was amazing. I mean, I truly felt like the banging and clanging and the beautiful lion, like things were different in here. And I feel like it really cleansed this space and invited us into a new year, the year of the fire horse. Amazing. So, Women's History Month is, it's been proclaimed by president after president for many decades. And I think it's important for us to keep on our calendar here at UUCLB that every month we're going to continue to honor and lift up diversity and inclusion in our calendars, okay? It's important. So we're going to be talking about Women's History Month. We're going to be talking about the Trans Day of Visibility happening at the end of the month on March 31st. So we're going to be continuing to mark these days on the calendar and in our worship life here. And today I'm thinking of Unitarian Universalist women who have made my history and my life possible. And maybe you're here because you had a woman in your life. I think the Darling family had a grandmother who was really an ancestor. And so I was thinking about your grandmother, and someday I hope we get to hear that story here from the pulpit. And I was thinking of my great aunt, Marjorie. And I want to share a little bit about her because we have to share about our ancestors who inspire us and who have brought us into communities that we may not have been a part of had it not been for these people. So Marjorie Marsh Quigg was born in 1917. She was known by Aunt Marge, and she was the historian of her congregation in Bangor, Maine. And she is single-handedly responsible for converting my whole family to Unitarian Universalism. Far ahead of her time, you might have called her an influencer in her small rural town in Maine. She was known for being extremely fashionable and always like going about town in fully dressed and just ready to be in public always. And her home was filled with books. There's floor-to-ceiling bookshelves, the classics, poetry, history, novels. And she converted my whole family through the writing of letters. And that's kind of a dying art that I encourage everyone to continue doing, is writing a letter. And Marge would handwrite poetry sometimes Unitarian poets, but often just the Transcendentalists and other poets in our tradition. And her favorite was Edna St. Vincent Millay, who was born in Rockland, Maine, attended Vassar, which I also attended. And Marge was just unflinchingly feminist in everything that she did. And so she would send these poems and say, you should really check out your Unitarian church near you. And we did. First, our church in Rhode Island, Westminster Unitarian Church, when I was about 7. And then we settled into the Concord Unitarian Church when we moved to Massachusetts a little bit later. And it was through Marge that I also understood just how progressive she could be, not just in her faith expression, but as a person, because I will never forget, she was this outspoken supporter of gay rights in the 80s and 90s, and she died in the early 2000s. And she was instrumental in my coming out process, as well as my aunt, who also came out at a similar time. We went to Indigo Girls shows together in the early 90s. So she was leaving her marriage, and I was coming out as a teenager. It was a beautiful time to have this support from a relative. And she had hanging in her entryway a gigantic life-size portrait of the Greek poet Sappho. With Sappho in print. I will never forget it. And not only did she just encourage and accept me and my aunt and other people who she was nurturing in her sphere, but she really encouraged my family, my mother in particular, and me to think of Unitarian Universalism as a place for women's spirituality and girls to be empowered. At the time in the early 90s, you might have been a part of these movements. Women's spirituality in our churches was really important. The Cakes for the Queen of Heaven curriculum was extremely important, learning about goddess traditions and women's spirituality. About Your Sexuality was going on, which was the Our Whole Lives of the 80s and 90s, teaching about sexuality. I was a graduate of that program, and learning about our bodies at church with supporters. My teachers were from doing reproductive justice work, and it was just really an empowering time. And then there were all of these materials, and I don't know if anyone has remembered this book called Cries of the Spirit. It was a very influential, I brought it up because I just felt like it was so important. This book of poetry that is extremely intersectional, of poets and writers talking about women's spirituality. So, I read this as a 10-year-old and was just extremely just taken by that Unitarian Universalism was a faith for women and girls. Last thing about the flashback. Does anyone remember from that time a sweatshirt that said famous Unitarian Universalist women on it? I see a few nods. Okay, Maureen, you were the one I bet on for that one. So there was a sweatshirt that said famous Unitarian Universalist women on it, and I loved that sweatshirt and just never wanted to take it off. And it had all of the names of famous Unitarian Universalist women on it, including Beatrix Potter and Clara Barton and a number of others. And I couldn't find the sweatshirt nor the image. So I just wanted to share a few with you so that someone might capture your energy and attention of maybe I want to know more about that person. So Abigail Adams. She advocated for an expanded role for women in public affairs during the formative days of the United States. Margaret Fuller, the key figure in Transcendentalism, considered the first major feminist manifesto, 1810 to 1850. Frances Ellen Watkins Harper, a member of the First Unitarian Church of Philadelphia, a celebrated abolitionist, poet, and author, considered the most prominent African-American woman writer of her generation. Maria Mitchell, the first American woman astronomer, and professor of astronomy at Vassar College. Susan B. Anthony, the most prominent voice in the American women's suffrage movement. Olympia Brown, the first minister to be ordained in the United States. Louisa May Alcott, author of Little Women and a lifelong abolitionist and feminist. Fannie Barrier Williams, a Unitarian and early leader in the fight against housing segregation and for the rights of Black women. Sylvia Plath, renowned poet and author of The Bell Jar. Margot Adler, a prominent pagan speaker, lecturer, and writer, and public radio reporter. Elandria Williams, a prominent organizer, trainer, and activist who focused on economic and racial justice. My contemporary, who passed away too early at only 39. And finally, the Reverend Sophia Betancourt, our current Unitarian Universalist Association president. She's a scholar and a pastor, and is truly intersectional in her being as a queer, multiracial, Afro-Latina, first-generation daughter of immigrants from Chile and Panama. So these are just a few trailblazing women from our history, and I wonder if in 5 years or in 10 years, this list will continue to grow in ways that might expand and include even more voices. In these times of ours, women's history isn't just to be admired in the past. It's to give us the courage and resilience and the strength to meet the urgency of our realities for ourselves and our daughters and our granddaughters. And our spiritual ancestors all knew that the times that they lived in required a deep and embodied faith that the future was going to be better than the present. The future was going to be better, and they were going to help make it better. There was this vision of a future with women and girls thriving, whatever the times, free, independent, empowered with all of their identities in the same vision that inspires us today. And we need to be clear, too, that sometimes history has shown us that the vision of women's freedom has been too short-sighted and too narrow and too exclusive at times. And we see this with challenges with opponents, both externally and internally in our movements. And we can clearly point to the Trump administration's dangerous gender panic going on. The executive orders declaring that gender simply does not exist. And I think Charlie did a great job of talking about how biology and the human brain and body just simply doesn't work like that. You can't just say, sex only works there are only two sexes, right? We just can't say that. The human body and brain and identity is far too complex. But this leads to a dangerous erasure and ongoing scapegoating of trans people. Just this week, we saw in Kansas, with no notice, that transgender people were notified that their licenses would no longer be valid. And we can all sort of jump ahead to that if you don't have a license, or in this case, trying to use a passport, and your passport doesn't reflect your gender identity, then you aren't allowed to vote. You could be arrested for simply driving, using a license that doesn't work. This is extremely dangerous and extremely important for us to take note of. And the twisting of the 1972 Title IX Department of Education amendments to address sex discrimination to exclude trans women and girls from sports and other federally funded programs. We can look at the vicious defunding of gender-affirming care for trans youth, with a target on the gender-affirming care for adults as well. And we see the tropes of women's innocence needing to be protected. We've seen that before in history, again and again and again, with women's roles as homemakers and mothers idealized. Who here has seen the tradwife movement? Tradwives encouraging divestment from women's education and careers, any leadership in the workplace, and that the home is really the sphere that women deserve and need to be in. Meanwhile, the specter of the Epstein files continues to elevate the hypocrisy of accountability for the real predators, the real danger, the real need to protect women and girls from harm, and for accountability for crimes that has yet to be realized. Perhaps we can look at those two pieces, the Epstein files and the targeting of trans people, as those prominent institutional failures of our time to protect women and girls and people of all genders in our lifetimes. But with this external threat, we can also say that within our own movements, we have some work to do. Can we not say that? That the left has been notorious for thinking that the work of women's rights and freedoms are a zero-sum game, that advances for some bring losses for others. You could see that around the suffrage movement. That's the perfect example. Women's suffrage and the suffrage of Black men and women to vote. How those two rights, which should be given to all, was an absolute struggle to be fought. And we've seen consistent battles within the feminist movements continually breaking down around race, class, ability, gender, sexuality. And time again, we can see by lifting each other up, finding an ally in uncommon places, widening our circle of inclusion and fighting for each other's rights, uplifting gender and reproductive justice, we can create a brighter future for all people. And we just can't afford to go backwards or to fall into this trap of zero sum. The ACLU puts it perfectly. Limiting freedom for trans people worsens conditions for all women by re-entrenching the very gender stereotypes that we have underpinned centuries of women's oppression. And I think, Charlie, you uplifted that so well, that trans people become the reflection of the need to control and to harm women's bodies. And we need to see that for what it is and not fall for the trap, and to see the allies in uncommon places across the gender spectrum, because men of all genders, we need you. We need you to be a part of this movement. Can you say yes to that? Yes. Yes. And we need you to be outspoken about what is going on and say, no, this is not right. So on this day, when we can think of little else than war, and in fact, the moment you get out of here, I'm sure you'll turn on your phone and find out something else that is going on, and that you came in with that on your heart, and all of us have it on our heart today. A war that has already, in its one day, been a target for a girls' school, killing 85 students, women and girls. We cannot help but be afraid for our future, to hold our children tight, but just like our ancestors, to rise again, to greet the day with strength and courage, to come into this place, to be inspired, to be reconnected, to find an ally in an uncommon place, to share our pain, to heal our trauma, to teach our children to find a better way. So I'm going to invite you to now rise in body or spirit. We're going to have our closing hymn together. It's another hymn written by a woman called One More Step. Can we take one more step today? Let's do it. Amen and blessed be. As we leave this place, I'm going to encourage you to find someone at coffee hour or this week and find out a little more about their story. I'm talking about women in our congregation of all genders, and I want you to find out a little more or to tell your story if you haven't told your story. Can we do that? Okay. I'm going to close with the words of Olympia Brown, who was the first Universalist woman ordained in ministry in general in our country. She said, "Dear friends, stand by this faith. Work for it and sacrifice for it. There is nothing in the world so important to you as the faith that has placed before you the loftiest ideals, which has comforted you in your sorrow, strengthened you for noble duty, and entrusted with you a great and true principle. Go on finding ever new applications for these truths and new enjoyments in their contemplation, always trusting in the one which ever lives and loves. Amen and blessed be. Go in peace."
Yesterday, a child came out to wander, caught a dragonfly inside a jar. Fearful when the sky was full of thunder, and tearful at the falling of a star. And the seasons, they go round and round, and the fated ponies go up and down. We're captive on the carousel of time. We can't return, we can only look behind from where we came, and go round and round and round in the circle game.
Then the child moved 10 times round the seasons, skated over 10 clear frozen